In modern shonen, a series is driven by the protagonist's ambition and the character's desire to do all that it takes to be successful. We as readers or watchers of the story simply follow along and remain a silent companion of the hero. In the process, we get to see the characters' good moments, bad moments, sad and happy moments, and we see them grow and change for the better. Shoyo Hinata, a relatively short high schooler for the sport of volleyball, more than made up for his weakness by having superior agility and stamina as well as boundless desire to reach to the top. With his athletic skills and a team that would back him up, Hinata reached close to the pinnacle of high school volleyball. However, for Hinata's ambition to beat Kageyama, he has to be a world-class player and reserve his spot in the pro volleyball leagues of Japan. Pro players are really good at several aspects of the game, and Hinata understood this. His quest to improve in the game would land him in a place many of us least expected him to. It's quite funny going back to the reaction people had to the 5-year time skip in this story. I mean, I couldn't fault them for being skeptical. The story so far had been phenomenal. Karasuno had reached the top 8 in the nationals, fulfilling Daichi's dream. Hinata had met his hero, the little giant, and seemed to accept and finally feel proud of his title as the greatest decoy, and Karasuno had finally had their battle of garbage dump against Nekoma, fulfilling Coach Ukai's and Coach Nekomata's dreams. Yeah, looking back, it definitely feels like that part of the story had fulfilled all its goals and objectives. And to be frank, if Hinata had been chosen to be in one of the pro volleyball leagues in Japan right after high school, that would not be up to the standards that we have come to expect from Haikyuu. And that is because there is no getting around the fact that Hinata is a short player and he needs to be absolutely terrific for any professional team to justify keeping him in their ranks. Him coming over to Brazil was not expected, but makes a complete sense in the context of Hinata's character arc. The initial change wasn't just odd or straight up shocking for the readers, but also for Hinata himself. Having an aloof roommate, a thankless part-time job, and no friends around made Hinata really depressed. That panel where Hinata is all shriveled up in the corner hits real hard because it reflected the reader's state as well. We fell in love with the characters from Karasuno and wanted them around a bit longer. With that no longer being a case, it was only natural for everyone to feel lost and not know what direction would the story take. All the gloom and doom would finally end when at the end of chapter 371, Oikawa showed up. No one, not even Hinata, ever imagined in their wildest dreams that Oikawa would have traveled to Latin America to pursue his volleyball career. I mean, I did wonder about the future of Oikawa because he was one of my favorite characters and he was one of the best players around, and I found it really hard that Furudate would just let him be a thing of the past, because he was a significant character back in the high school days and held the potential to remain a good character in the future as well. Well, I have to give it to Furudate. The author handled it perfectly. Oikawa is now a setter in an Argentinian league for a club called Atletico San Juan. The presence of Oikawa in this story was not just to lift everybody's spirit up, but also to demonstrate how different is beach volleyball than the indoor volleyball. It was already established that Oikawa is a great volleyball player, and seeing him struggle at first is a good way to see why Hinata chose to train on the sand. The sand is cruel but also kind. Cruel because it does not support you when you jump and instead takes the energy away while you're doing any athletic maneuvers. However, it is a friend because unlike the hard floor, sand would cushion your fall and enable you to take more risks. Now, I said that before, that seeing Oikawa struggle was to show us the difference between the sand and the indoor volleyball games, but it was also to make us observe how good Oikawa is in the game of volleyball. He didn't become the master of beach volleyball, but began to pick up the intricacies involving the sand and the wind almost right away and started to make good use of them too. Oikawa then goes through this entire chain of thoughts about how volleyball is fun and how leveling up is difficult, but when it all comes together, the sense of victory is immeasurable. He also realizes that to win in the beach volleyball, being able to connect with your only other teammate is the key to win. It is here that I really understood why Hinata had come to learn from the beach. See, Hinata never had a formal training in the basics of volleyball. Back in the high school, he was pushed into and went with the flow. But if he had to get to Kageyama's level, he had to learn to connect with the team members and get good at every aspect of the game. As Oikawa was leaving, he stated that he was going to beat everyone, including Hinata. I am pretty sure that this is the foreshadowing about some epic matches that are going to happen sometime in the future. Not just between Hinata and Oikawa, but also between Oikawa and the other characters we care about, like Kageyama. This part of the story was about making connection as well. Hinata not only made a connection with Oikawa in order to win the match, but he also started to make friends with Pedro over their shared habit of being weebs. Yo, don't look at me like that. Back in the present time, a volleyball player called Heater Santana approached Hinata to team up with him and to make it to the higher circuits. Hinata agrees and the two make it to the Solcard Cup and reach all the way to the finals where they face a veteran player called Lucas Santos. The final match was a demonstration of how experience counts as Lucas uses his in-depth knowledge and higher understanding of the game that Shoyo with his superior agility couldn't quite match up and ended up losing the match by just 1 point in the third set. This just goes on to show that Hinata now needs to put all his training and hard work into practice for real. But this does not mean that he can be underestimated. As Lucio pointed out, Hinata is like a frigid cold breeze of northern Japan. If you underestimate it, it will chill you to the bones. And now, the one who finally need to be wary of Hinata are the ones in the leagues of Japan. Towards the end of the Brazil arc, we get to see that Hinata will be trying out for MSBY, a team in the Japanese V-League, and more than likely Hinata will make it. From here on out, we will see Hinata as a professional volleyball player with teammates such as Kataro Bakuto and Atsumu Miya, both beasts in their own right. For Hinata to be in the same team as them, his level of game would be on a whole another level that we have never ever seen him play. The story from here is only about to get much more intense, especially when we know that Kageyama and Ushijima are also on the same team. I have a feeling that MSBY and Schweden Elders will have a matchup real soon, and despite who wins, one thing is for sure, it's going to be epic. Some of my favorite moments from the arc were when Coach Washito expressed his views that he has the highest expectations from Hinata and cannot possibly let others have higher expectations than him. That was a nice turnaround for the person who made Hinata literally sweep floors and not train and held a sincere dislike from him early on. The other moment was when the Great King showed up. Hinata's reaction was exactly how I reacted when I saw him there as well. It was a shocking but great moment. Another one of my favorite moments just followed the previous one. The reaction of the people back home when they saw the selfie of Oikawa with Hinata in it. The text exchanges between Kandaichi and Kunimi as well as the reactions of Kageyama and Ushijima did give me a nice chuckle. And then the moment where Hinata says that seeing Oikawa made all his depression go away and then made him feel happy was very sweet as well. I felt that one. After that, when Hinata found out that Pedro was reading One Piece and said that his favorite character is Zoro, and Pedro being unable to answer who his favorite character was, and then both of them watching Naruto and My Hero Academia together was awesome as well. And of course, the very last panel of the Brazil arc, the reappearance of Bakuto and Atsumu together in the same team and the implication that Hinata would join them had me up my chair as well. Overall, a very nice arc, loved it. I felt it was a great change of pace from the busyness of the nationals as we now venture into the professional scene. I am happy that it is pretty much a surety by now that all of the good players from back in the school days would most likely be in one of the Japanese league teams as well and make an appearance in the series. Two major ones were Ushijima and Oikawa. but we also have the people like the ace of Itachiyama, Kiyumi Sakusa, Wakatusi Kiryu from Mujinazaka High, Korai Hoshiumi, the other little giant from Komemada High, as well as many others. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to get back in the swing of things. One of the things that I love about following Haikyuu is sharing the excitement with the fandom and the online community. I'm sure it goes the same for you. So feel free to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. The links are down below. Thank you for watching and I will see you later. You guys take care.